33.
I second.
Yep, I motion.
So let's go ahead and get started with roll call. Is Joe here tonight? Riley?
Yeah.
Okay. Riley. Kendrick.
Here.
Colin Duncan.
Here.
Bella.
Here.
Michael Finnegan. Colin Folsom.
Here.
Nick Folsom. Levi.
Here.
Jasmine.
Here.
Matthew and Michael.
Here. Here.
Ella.
Here.
Tej.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Rithi.
Here.
Jack Reuter. Connor.
Here.
Rohan.
Here.
And Sinjin.
Jordan, we also have our new members joining us, and it'd be maybe good for us to just hear from them, maybe a little introduction. We met Catherine last time, but there should be a couple more on the call tonight, I believe.
All right, well, for those of you that are new, welcome to the Superior Youth Leadership Council. If you guys want to go ahead and unmute yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. So I guess what grade you're in and where you go to school.
I see Amanda here. Amanda, would you go ahead and go first?
Yeah, I'm Amanda Copley. I'm in 8th grade and I go to El Dorado.
Jared or Benjamin, are you here tonight? Okay, it doesn't look like they're here. And Catherine, you're here as well, right?
Yeah, hi, my name's Catherine Marcella. I'm in 10th grade and I go to Monarch High School.
Awesome. Those four folks, Amanda Copley, Jared Paulson, Benjamin Levy, and Catherine Marcella are going to be our new members this time. Their interviews are happening September 14th. If y'all have any questions around that, please let me know. And then the actual appointments will happen September 28th. So everything should be all set for you guys to be full-fledged members by our October meeting. Thank you so much for coming tonight. Jordan, back to you.
Awesome. Again, welcome you guys. All right, so next, everyone please take a look at the agenda. You should be able to see Kevin's screen. And please let us know if you think we forgot something or there's something that we need to add.
This isn't something I think we need to add, but it's just a question. Are we going to not be using our cameras from now on?
Good question. Yes. So I checked into the Zoom platform and we were trying to figure out a way that we could see each other, but that the attendees from the public wouldn't be able to see you all. Again, it's all about protection of identity and stuff for minors that we were trying to avoid. went round and round with Zoom around that, and they don't have that capability. So we will be just on audio on these Zoom calls.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions on or concerns about our agenda for tonight? Perfect. All right, with that, we're going to move on to our public comment. And Kevin, you said we have a couple people here from the public tonight, correct?
We do, and I believe Chad is here. And if you would like to speak, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. My two sons actually are here with me, and they want to submit a proposal as they were both thinking about, as school starts, Halloween in Superior, and they both had concerns, and I've always taught them to have an idea to address them, so they would like to offer one to you guys tonight.
I am Colin Sheik, and I have an idea about Halloween in Superior. The idea is that people drive their cars and drive around the neighborhood and throw out candy on people's driveways with
Go ahead, Nathan. Help it.
Okay. While kids stand around and collect it. This will save kids from going door to door and not being safe, and while still allowing everyone to have fun and see everyone's costumes.
Colin is my first grader, and Nathan just joined sixth grade at El Dorado, and they thought if everybody could drive around and decorate their cars and the town could help promote it, then it would alleviate a lot of door-to-door concerns while still having the fun of trick-or-treating.
That's a very good idea.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Oh, thanks for telling us about that.
You're welcome.
And so what you guys are asking is for the youth council to maybe help to promote and organize, maybe along with Colin and Nathan, maybe we can round you guys up for some honorary youth leadership council work in this. And maybe we can come up with something all together to put to the community. Is that kind of what you guys are saying?
I think that sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, that sounds great.
So youth council members, how would you respond to this? Any questions that you have? Anything that you'd like to add to the discussion?
I think it would be a great idea, especially having everybody on their driveways, because then you don't have, then there's not the concern of whether you're not properly social distancing, and having everybody on their driveways allows for that while, yeah, showing off their costumes and wearing masks.
Yeah, and I really like that too. And I also think that it'd be like super fun if like little kids could like decorate their cars or something, if like they can't like show off their costumes like normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So are we handling like the logistics of setting this up, or are we just promoting it? I guess is my follow-up question.
Superior, and I don't know if El Dorado did it, they did teacher parades. One was organic on Facebook by parents. The other one was organized by the principal of Superior. Both parades went off really well for the graduation time. I think if the town could promote it and support the idea and give parents a window, I think parents would take care of it themselves. I don't think there's a lot of logistics to do other than getting the word out. So if we said, let's say 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock was the car parades, decorate your car, drive around, toss prepackaged candy that you would normally give out door to door, out the window and driveways. The kids could be out there ready and willing and have a dance party in their driveways and collect the candy.
Awesome. Thank you.
One thing that I'm thinking about is we probably, if we want to try to pull this off, we probably want to have some sort of predefined routes in order to make sure we can pass the most number of houses possible, and maybe have to have multiple routes, like maybe 4 or 5, just so that, you know, we don't have to, every car doesn't have to cover the entire length of Superior.
When Superior did it, it worked really well to have a meeting point, and the cars were all there up to a half hour early, and then they had a predefined route that the leader car took them through. In fact, I believe the fire station led the way.
Yeah, if we had some main routes, that would be good, because otherwise trying to cover most of Superior would be a lot to do.
Yeah, and the more that I think about it, I think having some predefined routes would be basically a necessity, because we don't want everybody to go in their cars, but then everybody picks a different route, because that'll get crowded and just really bad traffic-wise, I think, pretty quickly.
Any other questions?
Well, in terms of like promoting it, I guess, do we want to, should we get in contact with like Superior and figure out more specifically how they did it, to see if we can advertise with more specifics? I think just kind of giving a bunch of parents, oh, you know, just line up, might be a little tricky.
Yeah, if we really want to go forward with this idea, we should come up with a detailed plan and how we want things to go, because things could get kind of messy if people don't know where to go with their cars.
Although I feel like the logistics are pretty easy to pull together in the end, and it's just something fun to do. So I like the idea.
Yeah, I definitely think we should do it, because like, I don't know, like when you're little, you're always looking forward to Halloween. And so I think that like by doing it, it's like actually something that the youth really need, even if it's not like our age.
So is there a consensus that this is something that we can put on our work plan and you know, try to gather here in the next week or so, and maybe even a small subcommittee of you get together and get this done for us?
I'd be willing to be on the council.
I would as
Yeah,
well.
I could help too.
Yeah, me too.
I'd be willing to as well.
Excellent. Well, let's call that a go. And when we get down to work plan discussion, we'll add that in and then start talking about some logistics. And Chad and Colin and Nathan, thank you guys for joining us tonight and for sharing your idea. And as we get some more logistics down, we'll let you know. And as much as you guys want to be involved in it, we'll just keep you in the loop, and maybe even if you want to join some of those meetings on the side, you're welcome to do that too.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Have a good night, all.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
All right, do we have any other members of the public wishing to comment tonight? Perfect. All right, with that, I think we're going to move into our major discussion item for the night, which is forming our work plan for the upcoming year. So I know last time we created a brainstorm of a bunch of different ideas, and I think the goal today is to add more ideas from the stuff that we've all been brainstorming since our last meeting, and then starting to narrow down which ones we actually want to tackle this year. So I'm just going to go over, so everyone on Kevin's screen, you can now see these are the items that we brainstormed last time, so take a look at them, try and jog your memory. And then, Kevin, are you ready to start recording new ideas?
Yeah, I think it'd be good to see how many new ideas were generated from between last time and now. I mean, let's jot those down as well. I can open up another Word doc and have that next to this. And then we'll go back through and start narrowing it down and putting some things on the calendar. So anybody can go. Anybody that has a new idea or something that you'd like to share that you've been thinking of, let's put all those down.
I was thinking of, so first I can see that there's already a drive-in movie, but maybe we could also do like, you know how we used to have those movie nights? We could do like a socially distanced version, and like we could fit more people since they wouldn't be in cars if it was just like a socially distanced kind of thing.
This is just an idea, but if we did some kind of food drive, because I know a lot of people are struggling in terms of job uncertainty. So maybe if we had like some kind of station with boxes that people could collect food from or drop off stuff in, and then a couple people to manage those, but with masks and socially distancing.
One idea that I had going off of the drive-in movie would be a drive-in concert. I've been seeing those kind of popping up. Not sure how hard the logistics would be in terms of getting a stage and everything set up, but just an idea.
Hey, just a quick heads up. The CAPS committee is actually working on a drive-in concert right now that may happen in September that has not been finalized yet. Just a little heads up.
Also, like last year, I think I went to like this food truck kind of thing in Denver where basically it was just like a ton of food trucks from the area were set up. We could do something like that here too with like local businesses that are struggling, and it would all be distance, obviously.
Yeah, adding on to that, if we did food trucks would be good, or I know it would be a good point maybe for advertising for some of the struggling local businesses like near Safeway, because I think some people with COVID and everything have, in a sense, forgotten about some of these places.
I
How
was
would you
thinking
formulate
about
that into an idea so I can write it down?
okay, I was thinking about maybe doing like a scavenger hunt type of thing, and you could just like take pictures of different places around Superior, and then like having a little prize or something.
This isn't exactly like a new idea, but going off of the youth newsletter thing, like including opportunities that we hear about for like the youth to serve our communities, just like including options for community service in the newsletter, I think that would work.
I think the scavenger hunt sounds like a good idea, and I know Ella was trying to get pictures with the new prairie dog statues. So maybe doing something with those, like you go around town and try to get a picture with all of the different prairie dogs could be cool.
I know that we do snowbusters right now, and with fall right around the corner, some people that can't shovel snow off their driveway also probably can't rake leaves as well. So like leaf busters or something like that.
I have a question. What exactly is Snowbusters?
Jump in, somebody.
It's basically just this thing that we do where some people from this council um, go and like shovel snow for people that can't, like anyone that's elderly.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
More ideas.
So this is kind of similar to a point that we already have, but in terms of like online tutoring, I know Superior Minds was an opportunity I brought up, near the end of last year, and I was talking to someone who works with them, and they seem to be willing to kind of like fold us in. I don't know that it would be like our initiative, but we could provide some tutors for that if that was an option.
What's this other group called?
Superior Minds.
Is that it? Anybody else? Great. Jordan, if I could suggest, the way we do work plans before, I'll just quickly show you this page, is that we move in quarters and we kind of take, a 3-month segment and just kind of think about it that way. Our first segment being October through December. It's the last quarter of the year, but it's the first quarter for us. And maybe what we can do is think about it in that perspective of where these different, kind of initiatives could land. And we maybe start scattering them out on, what we really like according to these 4 quarters, and might help us to organize it a little bit. Is that cool?
Yeah, I think that would definitely be beneficial. Could we just get like all of the ideas, including the one we had from last time, into the same Word doc so that we can just, I guess, kind of start moving stuff around into different quarters?
Yeah, let me, that's not what I wanted. what I can do is have another document here. So does this suffice? Over here, I can do the quarters, and then all of the other ideas are all together there.
Yeah, I think that works. And then I guess we can just start moving
I can
stuff.
pull them over.
Yeah, start moving stuff into the quarters. And then, you know, if once we start seeing, start having too many things in a quarter, then I think we can talk about eliminating some of the ideas.
Great. Maybe the first way to start is like, what ideas for sure do we want? Like the ones that are, I mean, just, we've got to have them. Let's make sure to put those down first. We can start obviously with this Halloween, whatever we're going to call that, Halloween extravaganza drive-through or whatever.
I think we should really do like a mask drive. I think that would be important.
Did you say math?
Yeah, a mask.
Oh, mask, M-A-S-K.
Yeah.
Let's just get everything on these, and then we can whittle it down after that.
If we are planning on doing treats for troops, that would obviously also go in the first quarter.
Also snowbusters.
On Treats for Troops, do we know anything about what we can do for that?
That's a good question. You know, I need to check and see what the organization that we send the candy to, what they're doing. You know, obviously, depending on what, you know, we used to have all of our drop-off spots at schools. And so we would probably only have one drop-off spot at the town. So there'd be some logistics to work through, but I think, you know, depending on what we find out, it's probably a possibility.
Adding on to the mask drive, we could also do the food drive then.
I also think we should do the drive-in movie / like a concert or something.
Where do you think that should land?
Which I think has to be in like the summer months / spring, because if it gets too cold, we wouldn't be able to pull that off.
I feel like we might be able to do like a drive-in movie during the winter.
Oh yeah, you're right. If it's just in the
Christmas
cars.
movie or something. Oh, never mind.
Oh yeah, Christmas is a good idea.
But what if there's snow? Because then that's hard to get around with vehicles.
Yeah,
Yep.
I honestly think our best bet is probably to do it in the spring or summer.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I think that should, for now, go in April through June. Kevin, one other thought that I had is last year we had a section on our work plan for ongoing things,
Yeah.
so I think we should probably have that as well this year.
Cool. What
I
else should we
like
put
the
on
idea
here?
for like a voting campaign that we had at the end of last meeting. I don't know exactly what that would look like though.
Yep. We were going to do possibly that tonight. Trustee Lasis was going to do some of that, but he is in a candidate meeting and it's running a little long. So if he makes it back, he'll be in. If not, we can schedule that for some point. I'll go ahead and put that here. Did you say elections? Is that what you wanted to call it, or government? Or
I was thinking more like a whole town youth voting campaign, but like it could just be government too. I don't know.
So you're not saying like what Trustee Lasis was going to do is just give us a little bit of a primer on government and elections and all that kind of stuff. You're saying like an actual campaign or a drive to get people to vote?
That's what I was thinking. I don't know if the council is interested, but
Yeah, I think we have that at the bottom of our list from last time, a Get Out the Vote campaign.
Oh, there it is.
If we're planning on doing Leaf Busters, I think that has to be first quarter too.
I just had a question regarding quarters. How much do you guys typically plan to do in one quarter?
This is last year's work plan. Probably looks like 4 to 5 things per quarter that we were looking at.
Okay, thank you.
What other events do we need to add to our list? Sorry to. There we go.
I feel like if we want to do the scavenger hunt with like the prairie dogs or something, that probably needs to happen sooner rather than later.
If we're doing like well, first of all, yeah, I agree that the scavenger hunt has to be soon because aren't they taking the art stuff down on September 30th?
I thought that the art that was coming down was the one at Purple Park. The one with the little,
okay.
But I think the prairie dogs are going to be up for a while. So, but I can check that out.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think if we're doing like a newsletter kind of thing, that's more of an ongoing thing. That's like monthly or something.
A monthly scavenger hunt, is that what you're saying?
No, a monthly like newsletter thing. That's
Oh.
more of an ongoing thing.
That's good.
I also think that our new t-shirt designs will also be ongoing. We might be able to fit that in a quarter somewhere, but I think that can kind of just go wherever we have space after we've finalized the rest of the quarters.
Great.
I would say, and I don't know if I missed something at the beginning, I came in late, sorry, but tutoring could also be an ongoing thing. And also what I've been hearing about some kids who are just high needs is that also just kind of companionship, having people in their community who they can just be on a call with or talk to and catch up with.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit more of how that might work out, how we might go about providing something like that?
I guess I don't really have it fleshed out, but I mean, just having, I don't know, Zoom calls where, I don't know, you can just come in, talk about whatever. There's kind of, I don't know, maybe a Kahoot is running just something where everyone can participate or just talk. Or else it could even be combined with the tutoring. Like the same time could be used for either.
Very cool.
So like Hangouts, but virtual. So we could have like digital game nights and that kind of stuff, right?
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Just to add on to that as well, I know some people have played movies. So if drive-in movies are gonna happen later in the year, then you could do movies online.
Adding on to that, we could do Netflix parties.
Excellent. What else?
So I think we should create a newsletter talking about COVID, and I think that can be an ongoing thing because we don't really know when COVID's going to end.
Yeah, I would imagine that we could create something that's monthly, and just depending on what we wanted to, send out to youth, always have a little COVID section, always have a little service opportunities section, and we do a, council member spotlight of the month or something like that. There could be a lot of things. Are some of you good at designing, putting together newsletter type stuff, journalism people out there, or yearbook type people, or just cool graphic people?
I could probably help with that.
Sweet. Yeah, we can come up with a cool little theme to put those together.
I just have a comment on the newsletter. If maybe if we could add something like to the regular newsletter, not for the youth, just about like small businesses, we could take that idea and put it into the newsletter so that way like adults are reading about them, and I guess.
Yep, that's really good. By the way, just so you know, we can get this newsletter out to everybody on our email list and on all of our social media, not just the youth council social media, but the town social media. So it would get quickly, about 7,000 to 8,000 people that would be on those lists. So you guys, and then whatever you guys wanted to do to spread it, but we can absolutely get it to as many people. So even if you had your own youth newsletter, it would be sent out kind of broadly. Great. What else? We got a few more quarters there to fill, and then we can start moving stuff around.
I think for either early or mid-April, we could consider doing a job fair. I know we wanted to do one this past year, but we had to cancel it. And I know we talked about considering doing an online job fair as well, if the situation in April still requires it.
I feel like providing mental health resources or like a newsletter or something should be an ongoing thing.
Hey, what's the PROST master plan?
Yeah, so actually, that is going to happen. We are on the hook for that. The PROST stands for Parks, Recreation, Open Space, and Trails. And we're in the middle of doing a huge master plan that's going to basically inform what the next 10 years of resources towards those amenities, what it will look like. And so we are having a facilitator join us next time that we're together on our October meeting. And they're going to take us through some questions and they're going to ask us, some stuff. Do you remember when we had a guy come through about the arts master plan? And he asked us a bunch of questions and had us do some surveys. So I'm going to send out the survey links to you guys. I think I already did on the last email. And then he's going to come in and ask some more questions. So that's all for us to get the youth voice into that master plan.
Awesome. And then are we still
Just to be
talking
clear,
to
the only two things that we're going to be doing is one is a survey and two is our facilitator coming in. So it's a pretty easy one.
Are we still doing tobacco 21?
That's for you guys to choose. Mayor Folsom asked us to look into it last year. We never got to it because of COVID. We have still all of those contacts and we can bring some folks in to do the presentation. And then after the presentation, just kind of thinking, is there something that we want to do when we'll talk about tobacco, we'll also talk about vaping, what kind of things we can do to put out. I mean, that's something else that can go in a newsletter, or if we wanted to do something more than that.
I think that is a good idea, and I think for now we should probably put it in ongoing, and then maybe find a place quarter later where we can really focus on that. But I don't think that's super time dependent.
Yeah, because we have a lot for now in that October through December. I don't think we should add any more to that.
Agreed. I'll reach out to the people there and see when they can come, and maybe we can even get a presentation, January or somewhere about.
Yeah, and until then we can put it in the newsletter too. Like just about like awareness.
Great.
I was looking back at the work plan you guys had for last year, and one thing that I saw was parents' night out. Maybe we could have that like in January to March, some kind of online format for parents just to interact. And I mean, I know it's at home, but get some time away from kids and that kind of thing.
It's a very successful event, and if there's a time when things open up, we can do a live one, that would be amazing. I don't think we should forget about it, and if there's a way that we can do something online.
Yeah, I noticed that we don't have anything in our July through September quarter right now, so maybe hopefully that's far enough out that we'll be able to have an in-person parents' night out. So I think that might be something we can tentatively put in July through September.
Right.
Going back to the newsletter, I feel like we could also do or create a website where we can just put everything there as well as send the newsletters out. and then just put like the mental health resources there and service opportunities.
So if you are interested in doing something like that, we could absolutely add a page to the Superior website that is, I mean, it's, you know, youth council type page. And we can always publish our newsletters there so they're always up to date, or other resources. So we can look into that. Or if you guys wanted to, I mean, the other way to do it is we do have a Facebook page. And if we wanted to drive people there, we can, you know, obviously keep that populated as well.
Yeah, that would be good.
Also, I know Ella was going to like do the newsletter. If I could also help with that.
Absolutely. Let's go around the room real quick and just put some names down of people that are interested in the newsletter, helping out with that. I'll write down names. Just shout out your name.
Rithi.
Catherine.
Whoops.
Sorry.
You're good. Michael.
Amanda.
Kendrick.
You may want to add my last name to that because we do have multiple Michaels, right? L, yes. Thank you.
Kendrick.
Tage.
And me.
Riley.
Tage.
Ella.
Sweet. You know, while we're at it here, let's go ahead and do a little Halloween around the table as well. Who wants to help with the Halloween project?
I would like to help with that. Jordan.
Bella.
Colin, Duncan.
Amanda.
Yeah, Connor.
Ella.
Catherine.
Michael L.
Riley.
Rithi.
Tyler.
Jazzy.
Who was that?
Jazzy.
Tage.
Is that it? Excellent. Okay. Let's go back to our, over here to our quarters. Anything else that we need to be thinking about right now, adding to this? Or anything that we want to move around?
So I know the reason we put the scavenger hunt in the October through December thing is because we don't know when the prairie dogs are going away. But I don't think we need to have a scavenger hunt be solely focused around the prairie dogs. So I think if we're going to move something, that can be one of the things we're going to move. One other thought is I noticed we had on our brainstorm from last time to provide feedback for 1500 Colton, specifically in the teen student room. Do you know when that's going to be, Kevin?
That's a good question. So we are scheduled to have that building finished by March. So I would imagine if we put that in the January through March, you know, we'll be talking a lot about the finishing touches kind of work. they may call us to have feedback on that earlier, but I think we can put it in January through March just to be safe there, spread it out. Where should I move the scavenger hunt to?
Probably April, June.
This is just an idea, but maybe we could also try to do it in like the like when there's like Christmas lights up, and then put like lights up and then have that be kind of the thing they look for.
You know, we can be as creative as you guys want to be. Wherever we put it, we can, you know, kind of go with the theme of the time.
I feel like you could put it in the more wintry months, because then like people can search for maybe like decorate some kind of trees in special way, and people could like look for those kinds of things.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I mean, we don't have much there, and you know, by the time we get to April through June, our activity starts coming up. So maybe that could be a good spot for it, a good event while everybody's kind of stuck at home.
Obviously, this is situation dependent, but I noticed we don't have our 4th of July kickball tournament on there yet, as well as just generally helping out at the 4th of July event.
Correct. Yep. That's really good. 4th of July in here. We'll put Chili Fest in here. Hoping, keeping our fingers crossed that by that time, things are opened up and we're ready to party. That would also mean Arbor Day is around this time. National Trails Day is around this time. Quick here. Hopefully we can do this Metro Mayor's meeting again. And that was in this time frame. What was the other one? I forgot. Oh. Making sure to have kickball
We
on
have
here.
the Ride Autry project, or is that not happening?
Yeah, so Ride Autry project, you know, we probably want to do that. That's just a work day that we would all go to the bike park and do some maintenance work. If you guys want to do that, that's something we could definitely add. Thoughts on that?
I think the Ride Autry is a good idea.
I agree.
We would probably want to put that right at if we could do it right at the tail end of March, that way it's, you know, weather's kind of getting better and people are ready to ride through, it'll be ready. Is that okay?
That sounds like a good idea.
Great.
What is the Ride Autry project?
Somebody explain that.
So we go down to the bike park by Autry Park, and then we like repair the like jumps and stuff.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
Like a dirt bike park. Okay, anything else that we need to add? To the mix. Hey, by the way, when I'm over here playing with the participants, can you guys see that? Or no?
I don't think so. I just see the Word docs you have open.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. Anything around the food truck party? Is that something we should think about? Yes, no? Or movie nights? Anything on that new ideas list?
I mean, we already have our drive-in movie / concert, so I think if we're going to have a drive-in one, I don't think it's entirely necessary to also have a socially distant movie night as well.
Excellent. Do we need to do the mass drive and the food drive at the same time? Do those need to be separated? Just a question around that.
I feel like we could do the food drive near the holidays to kind of help those kinds of people.
Yeah, and I think the mask drive you could do in any quarter, depending on how COVID goes.
Question about the mass drive real quick. Do you all have an idea of who to give those masks to, or is that something that we would then give out to something like a Precious Child or something like that, or is that distributed some other way?
Yeah, I think we should probably give it to like a charity nearby that takes them.
Okay. Awesome.
I feel like we could also continue the sock drive.
What's the sock drive thing?
Anybody
It's
can
pretty
chime in.
much just a drive for socks.
And who do they go to?
Oh, wait. I forgot. Who do they go to?
Veterans, I think, right?
We usually took him to Precious Child.
Yeah, I think part of the idea too was, for people experiencing homelessness, that they socks are one of the biggest needs, and so I think Precious Child was helping to distribute in that respect. Sweet. Okay, so how about if I clean this up and put it together in a nice way, put some months next to it, and kind of give us an idea of what months it would land on. Finish that work and then get it back to you all before our next meeting, so you can review, make any comments, and then we can finalize and just finish it up next month. Between now and then, obviously we've got a couple of projects to start working on, but how does that sound to everybody?
Sounds good.
Sounds good, but I have an idea. On this list, it says that like host a celebrity online event. Maybe that could be some kind of prize from the scavenger hunt, if that's possible.
Can you explain that a little bit more? I'm not sure I understand.
Like maybe like after, like if someone won the prize or something from the scavenger hunt, maybe the prize could be like they talk to someone online.
That's a nice prize. We could definitely try to pull that off. That's cool.
Yeah, and it would kind of like motivate people to go outside more and like get off their feet out and like off their computers.
Cool. Great. Awesome. Anything else for this that we need to talk about? Add to, take away, etc. Okay. Excellent. Okay. I'll clean it up and get it back to you guys then. Jordan, we might want to, we've got a little time left. We might want to start a little bit of planning around this Halloween project, because that's obviously something that we might want to have a meeting this month, and then obviously meet again as a whole group to kind of hear and finalize stuff at our next meeting, so that we can immediately turn around and advertise, because I would imagine that's going to be a pretty big feat.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So yeah, I think we should definitely start brainstorming, especially since we still got another 25 minutes.
Sorry, I'm gonna get the right document up here so we can talk. Cool. So I'll just keep writing on this document here. Some of the things we talked about already was time, like doing it from 7 to 8 p.m. was a suggestion. The idea would be that people would be in cars throwing candy to kids at their homes that would be in their driveway dressed up, is what I understood. Is that how everybody else understood it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I interpreted it.
Then we need to provide some routes and talk about all that. And then maybe do a little research with Superior Elementary, maybe see what they did. I know the people that did the other graduation, and I could talk to them and see.
Yeah, so my one comment on all of the school graduation parades was that those didn't really have to cover neighborhoods. They could just drive down primary streets, whereas with this, we'd probably want to be driving through a bunch of neighborhoods. So I think trying to plan a route might be a little more difficult than the parade, which is why I was suggesting having multiple routes, so that everyone can just kind of cover, that wants to drive can just cover what's in their area.
You know, another way we could do it is break up the town, you know, north end, middle, south end, and just say, if you live in this part of town, drive these streets. If you live in this part of town, you know, from here, I mean, we could provide maps. That way, it might be easier to do it that way than actually do routes.
Yeah, I agree. If we had some kind of map that drivers could look at and follow, then that would be ideal for different neighborhoods.
The big thing is just to make sure we hit every street, because if there's a kid out there and nobody drives by, it's going to be a bummer of a Halloween.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking it might be a good idea to have at least a little bit of guidance besides just here's a general area. I think it might be good to kind of identify all the streets that people that are in their cars should go down, just because people might just miss a turn somewhere or that kind of thing.
No, that's true. Yeah,
I feel like having a lead car is also pretty important in terms of showing people where to go.
Yeah, I wonder if we could, if we could get the firefighters to do one, the sheriff to do one, maybe a town car can do one. What's another special car that we have around here? Big truck or something. I think that is a good idea. Maybe it's two ways to do it. One is everybody meet here, follow the lead car. They'll make sure you hit every street you need to. And the other one is providing a route and maps, maybe even some kind of a Google map thing that they can see on their phone that just drives them right through.
I also think it's important that we make sure that we advertise this properly, because just so everyone knows that kids can stand outside and that they can get candy just to drive with.
I feel like having lead cars would be less confusing for parents because they know where they're going.
I feel like it can't hurt to do both ways, just in case someone gets lost or something. There's confusion, but
cool.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking is we might want to consider just, I guess, giving a general group or a general time that people can drive their cars around instead of having a specific parade of cars, because I feel like that's just a couple minutes of excitement and then it's over. And I feel like we should, I guess, try and spread out the cars driving by.
Yeah.
So if we're doing that, then I don't think a lead car would work.
Although I think the one thing about that is then kids can be really restless, and then if they have to wait out there and they don't really know what they're waiting for, how long, then it might cut their attention.
I think that's the genius of just doing it from 7 to 8. If there was 1 hour and the kids knew we were just out here 1 hour and the whole town is out for 1 hour, then we should hit them. We should provide a lot of activity. If it was spread out over, 2 or 3 or 4 hours, then I think kids would be sitting out there just waiting and waiting.
I feel like one thing we should definitely do is make sure that every street that has a house on it or residential area gets hit. Because, like you were saying earlier, if there's that one kid that gets left out, it's not going to be a very fun Halloween for them.
Right.
Yeah, and there's a lot of cul-de-sacs, so those areas can get missed pretty easily.
Yeah. Any other really strong opinions that the council as a whole wants to add to this conversation?
I was just thinking of the safety of it in terms of a person touching candy and then throwing it out of the car. I don't really know how to combat that, just because I wouldn't feel comfortable touching, but
maybe we could have everyone wear gloves. Maybe if you're handing out candy, you have to wear gloves. I don't know if that's still of course some people don't feel safe with anything, but I think wearing gloves could be a good solution to most people's concerns.
If we could like bag candies into like little Ziplocs, just like a little pack or whatever, and then distribute them to people who are going out on the routes, that might mitigate it, because like getting out gloves to a bunch of people and expecting them to like follow proper procedure the whole time is maybe not as great as if we did that ourselves.
The other idea might be to, in that explanation, say something like, hey, make sure you have a big bag so people can drop the candy in. And then as you're, we can tell them, as you're grabbing candy out, you might want to have like a little wipe or something to wipe everything down before you open it, and then you wash your hands. So we can maybe give them a little bit of protocol on how to be the safest, once they're handling the candy, but maybe not touch every piece right away, be able to just drop it in a bag first or something.
That's good.
I like the bag idea.
Me too.
Great. Well, what we'll do then is this group of people here that are scheduled to kind of really dig in. Why don't you guys get together on GroupMe or something, or on email, and set a time to meet? And I'm glad to meet with you all and help set that up. Is there somebody that wants to kind of be the lead of that subcommittee?
I'm
okay.
Jordan's got it.
No, you can do it, Bella.
Okay, then I can do it.
So Bella, let's give you the responsibility of just getting this group together, finding a time for us to meet, and so we can really nail down some good logistics to bring back to the council at the October meeting.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Cool.
Oh, I did have another, I guess more of a question than anything, but if we are throwing candy out onto people's driveways, do we need to like take into account cleaning that up if there is leftover garbage or stuff?
That was kind of the idea behind the bag idea too, is that, they could drop right into the bag instead of just throwing anywhere, just as cars are coming by. The one thing about the bag idea is that it will slow down the traffic. If everybody's waiting to drop off a piece of candy house to house to house, it'll be forever. So that's something that you guys will have to, again, think it all the way through and really think about what are the implications. If we choose this idea, what's actually going to happen. But good call. I mean, I think if there is going to be throwing of any candy, we don't want to, have a bunch of litter the next day.
I think if they are throwing candy, we should make sure that the people in the cars are throwing the candy only to people who are out on their driveways and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also think if we are throwing it, we should probably make sure there is still at least some daylight while it's happening, so it's not pitch black, so people aren't missing candy when it gets thrown.
Yeah, I feel like you should do it earlier because also the point is to kind of show your costume. So,
yeah. So 7 to 8 may not be the right time, and we may want to do it earlier.
Maybe like 6 to 7 or something.
Cool.
Maybe if we're doing some technique where we're throwing candy out and it does create like litter, maybe the day after we could hold like a cleanup session to clean up all the litter that was from the candy.
Yeah, good call. I think it also would be cool for as many of us to participate that night so we can kind of get a good idea of what's happening, if there's a need for cleanup, that kind of thing.
I mean, one option is to have someone from the council, like at the back of the parade, I guess, to kind of keep an eye on if trash is getting left all over and that kind of thing.
Cool.
I think when you have kids out in their driveways, we should also have at least like a parent with them as well, because then they can look out for trash or make sure that like things are going well.
A concern I have is like, how will we know that like if there's, let's say, middle schoolers in the cars, how do we make sure that they're not just throwing candy at their friends and like maybe accidentally missing them and hitting someone else? That could be a safety concern.
Yeah, I think a whole explanation of safety, of how to do it, I think that's really good. I think we should do as best as we can to provide a safe experience. Cool. We'll give this information then to this subgroup, and you guys can clean it up for us and report back next month. Sweet.
Oh, also, we should probably get the new people on the group me.
Excellent.
Catherine.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
So Amanda, one of the things that we have to communicate with each other is a GroupMe app. It's basically a texting app, but it kind of keeps your phone number hidden. Isn't that right? Or do you see everybody's phone number? You don't.
It keeps it hidden.
It does keep it hidden. So it's a little bit safer type texting opportunity. So we send out texts on stuff like that. So if you want to be on that, either you can send me what phone number, or if you don't have a phone number, we also send out emails to everybody. So it just depends on what you want. Let me know if you want to be on there, and I'll make sure your phone number's on there.
So after this, should I just email you my phone number?
Perfect.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Anything else on this before we close that discussion? Okay. We'll call it closed. Bella, you can lead the group from here. Obviously, next on our list was Mayor Pro Tem Lasis, and he did get caught up in his meeting.
I just
so
joined, actually.
Oh,
right
welcome, welcome.
Yeah, we just finished.
Well, you've got 8 minutes to do your presentation.
Yeah. So I was thinking, one of the things that I think would actually be kind of helpful for everybody to kind of take in what I'm hoping to convey here is, so ballots are going to come out, at least the sample ballot that shows what the ballot's going to look like, I think in mid-September. So if we push this to the next meeting, I could actually distribute what the sample ballot is going to look like. And then for everybody who's actually of voting age, who's going to be 18 by November 3rd, we could actually kind of talk about practically what the ballot looks like and kind of what the government presentation is going to be all about. I think it'll put a little more meat on the presentation rather than just kind of talking in the abstract about civics.
That sounds wonderful.
Does
Let's schedule you for October. And Mark, one of the things that the council talked about tonight was a get out the vote kind of campaign that they'd like to participate in, and maybe you can even give us some tips about how we might go about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things. I pulled a couple dates just for everybody, just to think about. So Tuesday, November 3rd is Election Day, and in Colorado, you can actually register on Election Day and still vote. Now you need to do that like at a polling place in person, but it's just a nice, you hear all these horror stories about different states making it really difficult for people to vote. Colorado is the opposite of that. Colorado makes it really easy to vote. Colorado also implemented a system of all mail-in ballots distributed to all registered voters back in 2014. So if you are a registered voter, on October 9th, the clerk and recorder will mail you your ballot, and you have up until October 26th to register and still get a mail-in ballot. And then you can deliver your ballot to Town Hall. There's a ballot collection box right in the parking lot there, up until 7 p.m. on Election Day, and your ballot will be counted. So in terms of getting out the vote, you can register to vote if you're 17, as long as you're going to be 18 by Election Day. So that's something to just kind of talk about with your peers. And the Secretary of State's office, I can share links for all of this. It's really easy to register to vote. You just need to be 18 as of Election Day, and you need to be a U.S. citizen and have been a Colorado resident for at least 22 days before the election, and then not currently incarcerated under a felony offense. So hopefully that's not going to be an issue with anybody. But other than that, you can vote. So in terms of getting out the vote, our meeting in October, Kevin, what's the date of that?
Good question. That would be October. Sorry, the 7th, October 7th.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, you still have, time obviously before Election Day, and you've got time to register before the election, and frankly still get a mail-in ballot. So, I think it'd be great for SYLC to work on getting out the vote, getting their colleagues registered, because obviously this is a presidential election. There's a United States Senate candidate here in Colorado that'll be up, as well as lots of other offices, including a couple of board seats here in the town of Superior. So
very cool. Awesome. Thank you. All right, Jordan, back to you, my friend.
Great. Any other final thoughts before we close out this meeting? Awesome. In that case, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:57.
Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Shit.
Bye.
All right. Good work, everybody. See you guys in our October meeting.
take care.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.